forest had always been there, dark, ancient, and untamed. Everyone in the village knew not to enter it, especially the children. Parents would tell their sons and daughters over and over again, "Stay away from the woods, or the Baba Yaga will come for you." I watched them from the edge of the village that day. The air was thick with the kind of stillness that only happens before something terrible. A boy, no older than 16, stood at the tree line, his face pale, his body tense. He had been warned, but curiosity is a powerful thing. The boy stepped forward, the crunch of leaves beneath his boots like thunder in the silence. I wanted to call out to him, to stop him, but I couldn't. I knew what was coming. We all did. He disappeared into the forest, swallowed by the shadows. Time passed slowly, minutes, maybe hours. But then I saw her, a figure moving between the trees, barely visible at first, just a silhouette. Tall and hunched, with a sharp nose as a beak and the eyes that gleamed like distant stars. Baba Yaga. She glided toward him, her bony fingers reaching out. He froze, but it was too late. She had him.
"Come here, little one. I'll keep you company."
With a single swift motion, Baba Yaga whisked the boy away, disappearing deeper into the woods. I followed, at a distance of course, my heart pounding. I knew better than to get too close, that something in me needed to see what would happen. They came to a clearing, and there it was, the infamous hut. It stood on giant chicken legs, towering above the trees, slowly spinning in place. Baba Yaga had stopped and spoke a word I didn't understand.
"Behold the mother of forests, the deathless mother, nesting in dreams. Turn your back to the forest. Hut, turn your front to me."
The hut stilled, lowering itself to the ground. The boy looked terrified, and who wouldn't be? But Baba Yaga wasn't done with him yet. She dragged him inside, and I crept closer, close enough to hear their voices even. Inside the hut, Baba Yaga made her deal. She always made deals. Rarely out of kindness, though. The boy would have to perform 3 simple tasks if he wanted to leave her forest alive. Fail, and he would be hers forever. Baba Yaga's voice was like a creak of old wood, her breath thick with the smell of rot.
"Complete my task, and you'll earn your freedom. Refuse, and you'll stay here as a part of my collection."
The boy, trapped and trembling, nodded. What choice did he have? But if the stories were true, no one ever completed her tasks. Her promises of freedom were empty, a cruel game. As I watched, I felt the weight of centuries of stories, the children disappearing into the forest, of bones found scattered near her hut. This boy was no different. He was just the next one. What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Baba Yaga. And we're going to make some comparisons to other folklore that's in the same vein. Baba Yaga is one of the most iconic figures in Slavic folklore, a supernatural being often depicted as an old crone with sharp teeth, a hooked nose, and a cackle that chills the bones. She rides through the air in a mortar, steering with a pestle, and her home, a hut on chicken legs, moves restlessly through the forest. But here's the thing about Baba Yaga. She's not your typical villain. In some stories, she's a terrifying witch that kidnaps and eats children. In others, she's a wise woman, testing heroes with impossible tasks, and, if they pass, offering guidance or even magical aid. Her role is ambiguous, part monster, part mentor. The witch, archetype, and folklore. Baba Yaga isn't just a uniquely Slavic figure. She's part of a much broader archetype that appears in folklore around the world. Think about the witch in the classic Brothers Grimm's tale, Hansel and Gretel. The witch lives in a house made of candy, designed to lure children to their doom. She's evil through and through, much like the darker portrayals of Baba Yaga. Like Baba Yaga, this grim witch captures children and plans to eat them, but unlike Baba Yaga, there's no ambiguity here. The grim witch represents pure malevolence, while Baba Yaga exists in a gray area, part villain, part guardian. She can be a figure of death, but also of wisdom, depending on how you treat her. The tasks and tests of Baba Yaga. One of Baba Yaga's most fascinating traits is her tendency to set impossible tasks for those who cross her path. In many tales, the hero, or more often heroine, must complete these tasks to survive or earn her favor. For instance, in the story of Vasilia the Beautiful, Vasilia is sent to Baba Yaga's hut and forced to perform a series of chores, such as cleaning the house, sorting grains, and fetching firewood, all of which the witch watches her every move. The tasks are reminiscent of those found in the Grimm stories, like Rumpelstiltskin, where impossible tasks are set to complete under threat of death or failure. In both traditions, it's often wit, resourcefulness, or even magical aid that helps the protagonist. Baba Yaga's hut and the enchanted house. Then there's Baba Yaga's infamous hut. This magical moving house stands on giant chicken legs, and it can spin or move through the forest. The hut is surrounded by a fence made of human bones with skulls atop, glowing like lanterns. To enter, you must speak the right words. Turn your back to the forest, your front to me. This idea of an enchanted or dangerous house shows up in other folklore too. In the Brothers Grimm story Hansel and Gretel, the witch's candy house serves a similar role. It draws people in but hides deadly intentions. Both houses stand as thresholds into the unknown. Magical places where the rules of reality no longer apply. Baba Yaga and the broader witch archetype. The archetype of the witch, whether it's Baba Yaga or the witches of the Brothers Grimm, often represent a powerful, sometimes frightening female figure who operates outside of societal norms. She exists in the edges of civilization, deep in the forest, or away from the towns, embodying the wild and untamed forces of nature. In Baba Yaga's case, she acts as a gatekeeper between life and death, testing those who cross her path to see if they are worthy. In other tales, she's a straight-up predator, much like the witches in Germanic stories, such as the evil stepmother in Snow White or the hag in the robber bridegroom. I wanted to kind of make it clear that Baba Yaga was at once a pagan goddess, and then when Christianity and religions like that started to take over, she became more of a witch figure and became more feared instead of worshipped. There is a quote from, I think it's like Andreas Jones, that says that like there's no clear understanding of Baba Yaga, and that's kind of poignant to what she is, because there's so many things associated with her between like life and death and like mystical help, and like she's part of like the wild side of nature, but also, you know, she's rather tamed. She could be malevolent, but she can also be a helper. You know, she embodies the crone, but she's also like the wise teacher at times. So she's a pretty interesting figure in Slavic folklore. But I just wanted to hop in and add that in post because that was in my script. I ended up skipping over the paragraph by accident. So, the witch that haunts the wild world. So, what is it about Baba Yaga and witches like her that continue to haunt our imaginations? Across cultures and throughout history, the witch represents both danger and knowledge, fear and fascination. She tests us, tempts us, and terrifies us. No matter where you look, from the forests of Russia to the pages of the Brothers Grimm, the witch is a figure that refuses to be forgotten. Baba Yaga's story, like those of the witches in German folklore, remind us that the boundaries between good and evil, life and death, are never as clear as we might think. So, would you be brave enough to seek out the Baba Yaga, knowing what waits inside her ever-moving hut? Yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of this story. Let me know, if you have ever heard of the Baba Yaga. She's pretty famous. She's been in movies like Hellboy, and a few others. It's a fascinating story. I love hearing like folklore and stuff like that. I watch a lot of this kind of stuff on YouTube anyways, but I think that's going to be it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. You know, leave me comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the story. I love writing these short stories for you guys. I think the short stories are the perfect way to open the video to the broader narrative and talk about the folklore or the cryptid, or you know, whatever the subject is for the video. But yeah, appreciate you guys so much for being here. We hit 600 subs last night. I appreciate you guys so much for subbing and coming over from other channels to check this stuff out. I'm sorry that it took controversy for you guys to come find the video. I didn't really want to get into the controversy. I didn't even know most of that was going on until other people had made videos on it and then brought my attention to it. So it's unfortunate that it took that for me to find a great community that liked this style of video, but in the end, I'm glad that I found you guys. You guys are awesome. I can't thank you enough for having my back through all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, get to work on another script. So I hope you guys have a nice day. See you later.
Steal my crown, choke me till I black out, put your hands around. I'm my heart, I'm guilty.